It's a fact. Climate change and environmental degradation are an existential threat to the world, and to overcome these challenges, we need to act fast to move toward a resource-efficient and competitive economy. Boosting the efficient use of resources by moving to a clean, circular economy is crucial. Listen to best practice use cases of the companies that have already taken the path towards green future.
Very warm welcome from Vienna again. Nice to see you. How are you doing?
Oh, it's great. It's great. Tell me, are you ready? Are you ready to take over?
We are ready. We are ready. We have now 3 really interesting keynotes on Greentech, and I want to start with Markus Linder from zoovu. Markus, I hope you are ready and I can hand over to you. But first, I want to mention, please, if you have questions, just write them down. We're going to collect them and discuss it later on. So every keynote speaker has 15 minutes, and then we have 10 minutes time to discuss the questions. So I'm looking already forward.
Good morning, everyone. Very excited to be here and to be able to speak to you today. I'm going to talk about why we as entrepreneurs have to fix the climate and biodiversity crisis, or at least need to do our part in it. My name is Markus Linder. I'm the founder of zoovu and more recently Inoko. And I'm super excited to share a couple of thoughts with you today. A few words about my background. So in 2006, I founded my first company together with my co-founders, zoovu. It's today the world leader for AI digital sales assistants, conversational search, is approaching about 200 employees across the globe, has raised more than 25 million in venture capital. And about 2 years ago, I decided to hand over leadership for the company to a very experienced global scale-up CEO, and had the opportunity to leave the company in the beginning of last year. And now I'm starting to focus again what I'm really excited about and what I really love to do, which is founding, coming up with a vision for a new company, bringing the team together and bring a new company off the ground. And this is what I'm currently doing with Inoko. But first of all, I would like to share with you today why I'm convinced that we as entrepreneurs have the power to disrupt the status quo, and why we should use that power and those super skills to really tackle the biggest problems that we have on our planet. Who of you did ever go to a movie rental kiosk to pick up the latest blockbuster and to watch it at home? Please type it into your chat window if any one of you has ever done that. Okay, not a lot of things I'm seeing here. So probably you have never done that because the founders of Netflix decided to change the status quo. They decided to basically rent out movies online instead of asking you to go to a store. Or who of you guys has called, picked up the phone and called a taxi lately? Probably very few of you, because the founders of Ubers have decided to disrupt the status quo and to get you an app that allows you to order a taxi or a car in a very convenient way. And the list goes on and on. Many companies disrupted the status quo and really changed the way how we do things today. So why don't we disrupt consumer behavior that fuels the climate and biodiversity crisis, the biggest crisis of our times, in my opinion? Why don't we use those superpowers that we as entrepreneurs have to really tackle those crises heads on? But maybe let me first take a step back. How do we as consumers fuel the climate and biodiversity crisis? Let's take a closer look at that. So, question for you guys, and please answer it in the chat window. I'm just hearing kind of a background noise. I hope that's okay. technicians are working on that. So who of you guys did ever pay someone in South America to slash and burn large areas of the Amazon? Who of you did ever do that, or who is doing that even on a regular basis? Please again, comment in your chat window and say, it's me, I'm doing that. Okay, not a lot of people confessing to that. Unfortunately, the inconvenient truth is that almost all of us, or at least a very large amount of us, is on a regular basis paying someone in South America to really deforest the Amazon and other native areas. Because every time that you walk into a supermarket and get yourself a cheap chicken meat, or every time you walk into a fast food restaurant and buy chicken McNuggets there, you pay someone who raises chicken and who most likely feeds them with cheap soy that in in a very high amount of cases originates from South America, and a lot of cases was grown in areas that have been native rainforest until not too long ago. So every time we purchase meat that has been fed with that soya, we indirectly pay someone to deforest more and more of the Amazon. And very few of us are aware of that. Or another example, who of you guys is paying beekeepers in North America to travel across the nation and to basically bring their beehives with them to then pollinate those beautiful trees, knowing that a third of the bees that they are bringing there is going to die. They're going to die because those trees that you're seeing here are basically treated with poison, and they just simply don't survive that. Probably very few of you know that many of us, by purchasing almond milk or by enjoying our muesli that contains almonds, we pay someone to do that. And we basically pay someone to kill millions and millions of bees, and have many other negative side effects, because in fact 90% of the almond production, or 90% of the almonds are produced in California. Or one last example that I have for you guys. So who of you is paying, and I think you can already know the answer, who of you guys is paying someone to slash and burn large areas of native rainforest in Southeast Asia, and is contributing to the fact that orangutans or Sumatra tigers losing their livelihood at a massive scale? Again, here, the answer is unfortunately that most of us do that, because half of our supermarket products contain non-certified palm oil, or palm oil at least, and many of those contain non-certified palm oil. And this basically means that by purchasing those products, we ultimately pay someone to slash and burn large areas of native rainforest, which is so crucial for us as a planet, for us as humanity, to really fight climate change and the biodiversity crisis. So now we have seen some of the consequences that our behavior as consumers has on climate and biodiversity crisis. So now I would like to show you how I and my team are planning to really change that and to disrupt the consumer behavior that we are seeing today that fuels that. We are going to disrupt the status quo by building a global platform that connects eco-conscious consumers with socially and environmentally responsible companies. That's what we're doing with Inoko. So the problem, I think, is very clear. Many of us as consumers really feel that there is an information gap. So many of us really try to consume in a better way, in a more sustainable way. And more people really care about the impact of their purchasing decisions. But we just lack information. Also, we feel we can't really trust the supermarkets and the brands, because there's such a lot of greenwashing going on. In addition, we lose a lot of time because research is complex. If you want to find out what's the most suitable product, you're going to really have to invest a lot of time. So in fact, there's guidance missing. We really would need more guidance that makes it easier for us to choose in line with our values. And This is what Inoko is going to do. So Inoko is going to help eco-conscious consumers and empower them to, first of all, consume in line with their environmental and social values and priorities, but it's also going to help them to discover new products that are in line with their priorities. And Inoko is also going to help eco-friendly companies to give them targeted access to relevant micro consumer segments who are interested in their products. And our vision with Inoko is to revive a healthy planet for everyone by empowering millions of people to consume in line with their environmental and social priorities, thereby accelerating a shift towards more sustainable production. So how do we do that? Let's take a look at Inoko, how it's going to look like. First of all, as a user, you will have the opportunity to define your priorities and your values, whatever they look like today. So you can say that you would like to contribute to a reduction of the carbon footprint, that you would like to consume eggs, or that you would like to avoid eggs from that come from cages, like cage eggs, that you want to consume primarily organic or at least free-range eggs. You can say that you only want to consume certified palm oil, in which case you can be pretty sure that it doesn't come from areas that have been recently burned down in Southeast Asia. And you can say that you want to reduce your meat consumption. And in the next step, you go shopping, as always, to a regular supermarket. And once you leave the store, you'll immediately get feedback from Inoko what the CO2 impact, the carbon footprint of your shopping was. You will see that 3 out of 4 products that contained eggs that you purchased are in line with your values. So that 3 out of 4 products contain like organic eggs or free-ranged eggs, no caged eggs. And you see that 4 out of 5 products that contain palm oil are from certified sources. You'll also see a ranking of the products that you purchased according to their carbon footprint. So you see that the chicken breast that you purchased has quite a high footprint. The organic milk comes next. And you also see that one of the products you purchased, it's those tasty chocolate chops, whatever cookies that you really love to purchase, are actually violating your values because they contain caged eggs and they contain palm oil from non-certified sources. And obviously, Inoko will also recommend alternatives to you that fit your priorities and your values. So one key thing that we empower consumers to do with Inoko is to effortlessly track their shopping behavior and to immediately get feedback on what they buy and what kind of impact those products have on their biodiversity, climate, social topics, but also their own well-being. You will also then see how you did over the course of the last 30 days. So here I can see that, for example, I managed to reduce my carbon footprint by 11.5%, or that because of purchasing more organic products, I supported livelihood for 43 bees. Because on an acre that's managed in an organic practice, you have more insects. So basically I contributed to providing space for insects. And I was able to contribute or to allow a chicken to live a happy life and to have access to the daylight because I took care of purchasing organic eggs primarily. We are also going to show you what you can achieve as a team. So you can really team up with your friends, with your colleagues, and we're going to show you what you achieve together. For example, Team Vienna here managed to save CO2 in at a scale that corresponds to driving around the globe 3.5 times by car. And we do not only stop there, because we will also show you we will educate you, or we will give you the opportunity to learn about new topics that you're interested in. So for example, you can read about the impact of the almond production again onto the livelihood of wild salmons. And you can then decide that you don't want to purchase products that contain almonds from California anymore because you don't want to support that kind of stuff that's going on there. You also see that we introduce you to new products. So here you can see a sponsored ad from Rebel Meat. That's an Austrian startup that I'm invested in as an angel investor. And they produce burger patties and sell burger patties that consist 50% out of meat and 50% out of plant-based materials, and thereby help you to really reduce your carbon footprint. And companies such as Rebel Meat can advertise their products, provide sponsored content, and also coupons, and only pay us on a purely performance-based model. So basically, we are bringing what you know from affiliate marketing in the online world into an offline in-store context. And that's a business model we're very excited about, which has a huge potential in a very quickly growing market. So these are numbers for organic food market alone, but we're also going into additional markets, like for example, fast-moving consumer goods. We plan to go into fashion and into other areas, and are really excited about the huge market potential and about the outlook to build a company that's not only doing something great for the planet, but it's also going to be a very, very valuable company and a very global company. With what we do, we primarily want to really foster a move towards more responsible consumption and production, and really help the transition towards an economy that helps to take action on climate, that supports life below water, that supports life on land, but also helps to provide decent work conditions to people around the globe and to contribute to the health and well-being of our users. So now my question for you guys, and I'm super excited to speak today in front of so many distinguished entrepreneurs, investors from Europe. So my question to you guys is, how are you as parents, as consumers, as entrepreneur, as an investor, going to help disrupt the status quo that really fuels climate and biodiversity crisis today? How can you as a person or not, as an entrepreneur contribute to that? And I hope you'll get out of that talk now and start thinking about what you can do here to really contribute to those largest challenges that we have out there today. In case you're interested to learn more what you can do as a consumer, as a business, to really help mitigating the climate and biodiversity crisis, I would like to invite you to follow me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, because I'm publishing one change a week that I personally take, that is one step that I take to really try to mitigate the climate and biodiversity crisis. We also have a joint series with Brutkasten, where I'm sharing one change a week as well. So you can also watch me, together with Diane, what I'm sharing there. And if you're excited about Inoko and would like to become a member of the team, I would love to read from you. We're currently looking for a highly experienced co-founder and CTO. So if you have experience in building apps that are used by millions of users and want to contribute to that cause, please reach out. We would love to talk to you. If you are interested in using Inoko as a user as soon as it's out there, please go to our website and register as a user and put your email address to our waiting list. And yeah, that's it from me. And now I'm looking forward to your questions. Thank you.
Yeah, Markus, thank you very much for this really interesting, interesting keynote. Thank you very much. I have a question. I'm gonna start the Q&A right now. What are the biggest challenges for you right now to scale up with Inoko?
The biggest challenges, very good question. I mean, we have many challenges here because what we do looks very easy from the perspective of a consumer, but it's in fact quite challenging in terms of the underlying technology, being able to empower users to passively track their purchasing behavior effortlessly. Also bringing the right data sources together is obviously a challenge. But that's why I'm tackling this problem. I have a lot of experience in building large companies with zoovu and also supporting startups as an angel investor that do that. So I had the opportunity to learn a lot, how to do that, how to test step by step in the market, what the users really want. And therefore, I'm very optimistic that we're going to tackle those challenges.
Mm-hmm. Also, a really interesting question is also about the COVID crisis and how it also has an impact on the climate and environment crisis. Maybe you can tell us from your point of view as an expert, give us more insights.
I mean, obviously, we saw some short-term impacts on the climate, like CO2 emissions, also biodiversity. Many cities where wildlife really came back into the cities and were suddenly able to cross roads they never were able to cross in the past. However, the reality is that in the long term, the impact of that on those two crises will be minimal. So the hope that I have, although, is that we as consumers, as business people, as in all our roles, learned a couple of things from those crises. So for example, many people learned now that they do not need to necessarily board planes every day to be able to close deals. I mean, I just remember from my time at zoovu, I traveled Vienna, Moscow, New York, Boston, and all of that in 4 days without, thinking about any side effects that has. Just to get in front of another Fortune 500 company that kind of expressed interest in my solution. And I thought, hey, I need to be there and I need to show that I'm interested in working with them personally. And what many of us learned now is that this is not really that necessary, or maybe you can go there once and can then have ongoing conversations over the internet. Or hopefully many of us learned that we can live a happy life as consumers, even if we don't go shopping, for the latest throwaway fashion twice a week, which is a huge contributor to those crises. That, a lot of the stuff that we wear and wear maybe 4 or 5 times and then throw it out has a massive impact on the planet around the globe. And my hope is that we learned that we can live a happy life without, always wearing something new every other week. And yeah, many of those topics that we learned, for example, more and more people in Vienna here at least, now started to go to work by bike because they don't want to expose themselves in the subway and don't want to get too close to other people. There's lots of traffic going to pick up on the streets. So more and more people are using their bike, which leads to the situation that the city government is opening up streets for bike riders. So they are blocking lanes for cars and invite people who cycle to use them, which is also a very important move from that perspective, because if you go to work by bike, you do something for your health, but you also really contribute to mitigating climate crisis. And I could go on and on and on. So I'm hopeful that we all learned something out of it and that we will use those learnings to really accelerate our path towards a more sustainable future.
Thank you very much. I also have another question. How is the state institutions and also big corporates? Do they work together with Greentech startups, and is it changing? So are corporates working right now more with Greentech startups together in this collaboration?
A very good question. So we are actually one of our models to reach a lot of users and to reach also to get some early cash flow is to cooperate with large corporates and also with governments. So we are going to invite corporates and governments to join us as a launch partner. They will get their own team. They will get special version of the app for their users, and we see a lot of interest here. Obviously, corporates realized that they need to do something, need to play their role, and also show consumers that they're taking responsibility and leading the change that we need to move into a more sustainable and better future. And we see a lot of interest there, and are very excited about that.
Thank you very much. Really interesting insights. Thank you very much. Now we go over to the second keynote. So we got to switch right now on the main stage here. And I want to introduce André Felker. And he's the founder of Backbone. And yeah, we're going to have an interesting talk right now. He's joining the main stage. André, very warm welcome here in Vienna on the stage of the Brutkasten. The stage is yours, 15 minutes for the keynote, and then we have like 10 minutes Q&A. Thank you very much.
There you go, you saw the video. No, here live. Once again, thanks again for having us today and having me today. What I want to talk about today is how our platform venture backbone.one will disrupt this convergence of the digital and electrical transformation, and how it will be able to launch new business models which everybody will benefit from. So either private persons or corporates, and how we'll make the world a better place doing so. I personally have a long history in top management in corporates, as a founder, as an investor, had some exits, had some failures, everything. So the whole bunch of success and failure on my side. But you can look that up on LinkedIn or at backbone.one. I will dig into this topic right away because we don't have much time, basically. So backbone.one is deploying or aims to deploy the operating system for a digitally and electrically converged world. That's what we are working on. And that's why we are called backbone.one, because we want to be something like the single backbone of this development. And if we look into the topics, we say everything changes again, and we are deploying new value creation models for a digitally and electrically converged world. Now, let me walk you through some circumstances which are actually the ones we are building our backbone.one business model on. All the predictions, actually, in all the predictions, you see the next big S-curve after the digital transformation will be the electrical transformation. That means the digitization of energy, the decentralized production and distribution of renewables, because we all know we have to do something. We have the Green Deal within the EU. We have topics like the SDGs of the UN. And despite the pandemic we just suffered the last month, we still shouldn't forget that we have some tasks to solve worldwide. Probably the main task is climate change and all its implications globally. What is interesting is also that the ongoing digital transformation is highly converging to the beginning of the electrical transformation. And here at the intersection, you see that's where new business models occur. That's where new possibilities will arise. That's why we actually also invented the terminus Digilectric, which is a convergence, an artificial word made of digital and electric. And we made it a brand because we want to actually launch the Digilectric era. And what is also interesting is that you hear more and more about the so-called Internet of Energy. If you look that up online, there's lots of good reads there. Now, there are some major developments also taking place, like battery demand will be increasing by more than 30% per year. Solar PV installation will increase by around 40% per year within the next years. And we also have some developments like the increasing demand of autarky, autonomy. Also, due to the crisis of the last month, people don't want to depend on somebody or something. They want to be independent, resilient even. Now, one more figure, which is kind of interesting. We also have, and that's in the middle bottom, the production of home storage solutions. So that means you have a battery at home which stores your energy, which stores either the energy you produce or you buy, will be increasing by nearly 70% per year within the next 10 years. Also very, very important figure for us, and you will see why that is so important for us just after a few slides. And we also have these SDGs, this global agenda, where we especially support 7, 11, and 13. We also launched a KPI, which is called Renewable Energy Footprint, which shows your contribution to the energy transition, but I will come to that in a second. And also very important, there's the Clean Energy Package of the EU. The Clean Energy Package is kind of the full liberalization of the energy market. This will have to be realized within the EU countries by June 30 next year. The important thing about this is that it makes the P2P trading, the peer-to-peer trading of energy actually possible between corporates, industries, private persons, and so on. Now, all these things are happening, all these issues are taking place. Now we have a whole bunch of new ecosystems, basically. We have electric cars, we have renewable energy sources, we have storage solutions, we have e-charging stations, and so on. And they are basically all more or less fragmented because today they don't communicate with each other. So we say they can only be developed to become scalable business models if they are logically interconnected among each other, if they communicate in a common language, and if they are able to carry out transactions in a barrier-free way. And that's why we integrate all these on a single platform, which is backbone.one. And we say we want to develop the OS for the Internet of Energy as an open digital platform in order to launch new business models on this platform and at the same time contribute to the energy transition and to a greener and better world. Now, just a short thought. Imagine what that means if storage solutions will increase. Imagine, for example, supermarket chain, and imagine that every shop of the supermarket chain installs a solar PV roof, for example, and a storage solution. And this becomes interconnected, basically on our platform, for example. And then all the shops of the supermarket chain become interconnected on backbone.one. And suddenly we can balance their energy demand based on renewables. So we went up to the bigger supermarket chains within the last month and said, guys, in the near future, you won't only just sell milk and bread, you will also sell energy. They said, yeah, possibly, and they see our vision, but basically they need so much energy that they, in the first step, will rather buy from their consumers. Now imagine, somebody like a supermarket chain comes up to you as a customer of the supermarket chain and buys your energy surplus, which you produced. And they don't give you money for that, they give you value, for example, a discount on your next big weekend shopping. Now, in our business model, these transactions become a kind of a currency for energy. So your energy surplus becomes kind of a currency for new business models. And this can be integrated on backbone.one and can also be integrated and interconnected by vertical integration of all industries, so they can be interconnected among each other. Second thought, before I go on in my presentation, second thought is, imagine from 2025 onwards, the prediction says there will be more new electric cars than new ones with combustion engines. Now imagine that all these electric cars have to be charged at the same time, for example, after office hours. If that happens, the grid might collapse because it produces a very high peak in the grid. Our system also balances all the spare storage solutions. So if you have a storage, which can be your electric car or a home storage or whatever, you can say, okay, I give away 10% of my storage, which I don't need. For grid balancing, our system aggregates all this, all these spare storage capacities, and you earn money either by selling surpluses or by giving away spare storage capacity. So that's what basically our system does automatically, our platform. But if you go one step deeper, I show you how backbone.one works also in action. If you log on, and what we did for the last 1 year, we developed a fully functional prototype based on simulated systems and simulated data, and are at the moment in the phase of finalizing the MVP until end of the year, because the platform shall be up and running from next year onwards. This is the prototype version. If you log on to backbone.one, the first thing it says manage your energy infrastructure. Know what you supply to and consume from the energy grid. The second thing is what it says is understand your impact, because it tells you we calculate key indicators like autarky level or renewable energy footprint to show your contribution to the energy transition. And it also says buy, sell, or store energy, team up with others to aggregate your supply and demand. So this is what you see, and then you log on. And this is just a short film, because it would take too long in the short period of time to go into detail. Now you see here the app. We log on. We have two default users. We have Greentech as the hero, and we also have Donald. Actually, we won't show you Donald. So if you log on as Greentech, you see okay, Greentech can look up what did she consume, produce, buy, sell, and how much kilowatt hours, in these terms 100, does she have for transactions. So she can use these 100 kilowatt hours for transaction purposes. It also shows at her home, you can really look into also time spans, and you see your personal infrastructure. She has a smart meter, a PV, solar roof, and obviously a storage solution. And now she can say, okay, what did I sell in terms of renewable energy I produced last week, for example. Now, if Greentech would come to Vienna, for example, and she would like to buy a house, I just want to show you how easy it is to log on the platform. So we say, okay, Greentech buys a house in Vienna. This is the address. We take default settings, single family house. You have to check your electricity provider data and also your smart meter data, and you're on our platform basically. And you see right up in the corner, it says Vienna. Now, Greentech says, it's very sunny in Vienna. I'd like to install a solar PV roof. That's what she's doing. She says, okay, I have equipment which is called Sun, which is serial number. Then the system asks you, what is it? Is it metering, production? It is production, it is solar. It has this, this power here. And then you just have to look at it, finish it, and you see the context Sun and Greentech's home at the same time. And immediately she is kind of in her own ecosystem and can manage her ecosystem. Now, if you look at, for example, trading possibilities, you see what ongoing transactions do I have and which closed transactions do I have and where did I buy, for example, energy from, or who bought energy from me. And you can see that on your dashboard, but you can also create an offer. And for example, if we say I have lots of energy as a Greentech, and I want to sell it to, for example, you guys, we say, okay, we sell, and we sell it for only 1 cent per kilowatt hour. And then I say, okay, we give away 100 kilowatt hours. That's a good deal. And we say it's for Podim purposes, so it's the Podim promo. And then we say it's unlimited, so whoever wants to have that can download it, and we put it online, and it's as easy as it is here. You see the offer you just created, it says Podim promo, and you just share it and send out the QR code, and the QR code, you scan the QR code, energy goes to you, money goes to Greentech. So that's basically what we are doing. In a nutshell, so what does that mean actually? That means that we have benefits for all the stakeholders by doing this, because consumers can earn money, they save costs, so they have additional income. And these additional income purposes are even more important after the pandemic, actually. So we have new possibilities there. People become independent, so we have this autarky topic. Everybody can say real time, every household, every person, what do I at the moment contribute to the energy transition? And all these renewable energy footprints are also interconnected. So we have a kind of global standard with this. And you can aggregate, you have these family sharing things. You can aggregate your family, your friends, you can aggregate yourself with industries into an ecosystem. In terms of companies, we help them saving enormous costs in terms of energy. We help them establishing new customer relationships, new business models. They become independent as well, and they can also display their key indicators like autarky level, our renewable energy footprint. And in terms of society, we go against climate change, we push renewables, we are doing new job ops, new income ops, and we are also stabilizing the grid. And doing so, we are also contributing to the SDGs and so on. So just a last slide, just for you to understand how we are approaching the market. After having finalized the prototype, we are actually rolling out this model to the industries, and we're talking to the big industries in Europe, and have here also a cooperation which is still unofficial with one of the biggest strategy consultants worldwide, who are doing our business modeling, because we are approaching, for example, a big supermarket chain, as I said before, and we tell them, if you want to exploit the possibilities of these new market developments, you have to actually adapt your business model. So that's where the strategy consultant comes in and helps us here in business modeling the industries. Then we look at the hardware. There's always some kind of hardware ramp up in terms of storage or solar PV and so on. And our core business then is the platform business. So then we implement the supermarket chain on our platform, and our actually business model is per transaction, per energy transaction, which is deriving or happening, taking place on our platform. With kind of a lot of exposure last year already. You see here some examples. You can look it up also on backbone.one or on LinkedIn or on any kind of social media channel. And that's about it, basically. So I'm happy if you follow us wherever you find us. Mostly, I would suggest LinkedIn, for example. If you look up our website, and I'm happy to answer your questions right away now. Thanks a lot for listening.
Thank you very much. Really interesting insights to your business model. We have a question. What's the biggest challenge for convincing consumers to use your platform?
The good thing about this is that we are kind of delegating this to the industries. So we will never step up to the consumers, because it wouldn't be affordable to launch something in the B2C market as a startup. You can't raise so much money at all. And we're, for example, currently in a seed funding round, which we are closing end of June. And still looking for some additional money actually there. But we're on a good way. But this is also, everything is going into technical development, basically. So what we are doing is we are approaching the industries, and we go, for example, to the supermarket chain, and we enable them in order that they can enable their consumers to get into transaction and trading purposes with them.
Mm-hmm. And how does the cooperation with corporates look like?
Well, basically, it's three business pillars, actually. One is consulting. So we have a consulting fee, which we are doing with our strategy consulting partner. Then we help them ramping up their hardware, and then we are implementing them on our platform. So they don't have to pay for that, basically, but they pay per transaction. And our success is based on these transactions. So there is nothing like a kind of there's a basic monthly fee for technical support, but it's just an open platform, basically.
Do you also work together with state institutions?
We talk to the governments. We talk to the governments in various European countries like Austria, of course, UK, and so on, because they see also the chance to reaching their climate goals by implementing our platform in their countries.
Also, a question to you: what's your opinion about the COVID crisis? Like Markus already mentioned, there is an impact on the environment crisis. Do you also share this opinion?
Yeah, I definitely share this opinion, and basically, I'm happy that it's rather the end than the beginning, actually, because we're really worried. In our business, what we see is that state help and state support for companies or even private persons shall in future be linked to climate goals. So there's an initiative within the EU, also deriving from the EU and also from the states. Funny-wise, I have a meeting at one discussing this topic here in Austria as well. So because we, as I said initially, we shouldn't forget about our biggest tasks, and this is actually changing the world to a better place for the next generations. And this is all about climate, more or less, because the implications of climate change are huge. And if everybody actually is committed to support climate change, and this is kind of the precondition for getting help as a company or as a private person from the state, this could be a good deal.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Yeah, we don't have any other questions right now, so I would like to hand over to our last keynote speaker, Robert Dominko, who is leading a group of researchers at the National Institute of Chemistry of Slovenia, particularly on a network of research and testing centers on advanced materials for batteries. So we have a short introduction video. Hello, Robert Dominko. You can hear me? Perfect. Yeah, thank you very much. It's now your time for your keynote, 15 minutes, and then we have like 10 minutes for a Q&A. And also to the audience, if you have questions, just post them right into the Hop-in tool. We are looking forward for your questions. Robert, you might switch on the microphone. No. Robert, do you hear me? Yeah, perfect. Robert, now you can hear me, no?
Okay, thank you. Thank
Perfect.
you for help.
Now it's your time.
Yeah, thank you for help, and sorry for this small disturbance. And yes, in live from National Institute of Chemistry, where I'm working, and basically, I will continue discussion which was actually started with previous speaker, and actually it will go along the battery chain and the opportunities that battery industry in Europe will have, and what are our needs to do that for the future. So at the beginning, maybe just a short introduction. In Ljubljana, we have at National Institute of Chemistry, we have a strong battery research center for basic research, and we are one of the strongest in Southeast of Europe. And we are very well equipped for designing battery research up to the technological readiness level 3 to 4, but not to higher level. And of course, if you want to bring any ideas close to the industrial application, this is a prerequisite that you continue your research and you bring it to higher tier level where industry can take over. So a few more facts about us. We are worldwide very well established, leading in several different European initiatives. And we have trust from different industrial collaborators like big companies, battery companies, car making companies, and of course also Slovenian companies where we are working. So why batteries? We know that batteries will have an important role in the future if we really want to electrify many different sectors, from transport to using renewable energy, and to some other sectors like Internet of Things, robotics, medical equipment, and so on. And here is a slide where you can see estimation from European Commission that the battery market will be around 250 billion size in 2025, and it will grow even further. And of course, now the question is, what will be the role of European industry in this battery market, and what will be the role of other competitors on this area? So for that reason, in the frame of a European Green Deal, Europe is building a battery partnership, which will help us to make Europe as a leader region on this area. And of course, with that, we will secure a lot of jobs and also growth in circular economy. At the same time, this battery partnership, along the other partnerships which are foreseen, will help us to decarbonize European energy system. Here, the aim is especially in transport sector and also sector for storing renewable energy and also some others. And of course, this will improve our day life and also make this planet very pleasant for living for next generations. How we can reach this? Yes, we have some general objectives, and we have to have some plan, and this is general objectives to become a natural, climate natural continent. And with that, we will in the upcoming financial crisis, we need to secure some new jobs, and this is now great opportunity that we really, after COVID crisis, after this health crisis or sanitary crisis, we now start with different thinking, and we contribute to zero pollution and toxic-free environment. This is possible also by if we are creating battery manufacturing industry in Europe, and for that we need to have some technical objectives which are listed at the end on the right side of this slide. I will not go through all of them, but these are technical objectives which will help us to be in better than competitors from Far East or better than competitors from United States. So it will really give a possibility for Europe to be a leading also in battery industry. So battery partnership needs or should go along the all value chain from raw materials to the end life, and so it follows this circular economy. So reuse, recycling, secondary raw materials from recycling. Those are important topics which are taken into account when building active materials or other materials, and also cell assembly technology. So all this is considered in battery partnerships, and many different directions for research will be done in this way. And as I said already in one of the previous slides, battery partnership is only one among around 50 partnerships which will be created under Horizon Europe. And this partnership actually will be in close connections with Digital Technologies and some other partnerships which will have an impact on the Green Deal launched by European Commission recently. So maybe a little bit closer look how this actually will be divided into different categories. So we have created Battery 2030 Plus initiative around approximately 2 years ago. And this Battery 2030 Plus initiative will work or is working already on the basic or on low TRL level technologies. So supplying some new ideas and testing these new ideas, and then those ideas, if successful, they are taken by Batteries Europe, which is aiming to couple between basic ideas and also industrial production. So Batteries Europe actually will give or will projects here in this will be between TRL 3 to 6, 7. And then everything is taken by different partnerships, among them also interregional partnership on advanced batteries, on advanced battery materials. And this is taken for further industrialization. And since Slovenia is one of the leading regions in this interregional partnership on advanced battery materials, I will, in next slides, present a little bit more idea about this partnership. So this partnership was created approximately 2 years ago with free initiation. It was initiated by 3 regions: West Slovenia, Andalusia, and Castilla-Leon. And so those 3 regions created or proposed this partnership, which was accepted, and today around 28 regions, or I think even more, around 35 regions are already inside this partnership, where we identify 6 pilots, and within these 6 pilots, approximately 10 projects, and this number is growing almost by daily, with new partners coming or new regions being interested to join. So this was created, and the aim is actually to bridge and accelerate knowledge transfer from academia to the end user and to booster battery cell production in Europe. So basically, as here in this valley in the west-north part of Slovenia, actually you need to build a lot of bridges across the valley. It's not only one bridge enough, but if we really want to boost battery production in Europe, we need to have a lot of bridges, which will enable us to incorporate different materials, components, and new systems into battery cells and packs, and then test them into relevant environment, and also to ensure training and also education of certain skills, together with circular economy and also production. So one of the pilots inside this battery partnership, interregional battery partnership, is also in connection with Slovenian Battery Center, which main objective is to provide multi-point access to certain equipment, which is now lacking. It's only available in few countries or few regions in Europe, but not enough for really boosting production of cells. And with that, we want to actually create additional capacities in our case in West Slovenia, but also those capacities be available for other regions, neighborhood regions, or maybe some others. Our specialty would be prototype lines ready to adopt new chemistries. We know that battery chemistry is different, and not only one is winning, not only one will be winning in the future. And with that, actually, we actually want to act as a validation facility for new advanced materials, which are offered by different industry, or different solutions which are offered by different industry. Some industry have a big needs for test cells because they want to implement cells into their new products. Then we need to support standardization issues. There is a lot of demand from especially younger generation to implement their know-how into different business models. One of them we listened before in the previous lecture. And then, of course, we need to ensure reproducibility and quality of the tests with joining into a pan-European testing center. And what is also important, but maybe sometimes forget, skills available in Europe are not sufficient for boosting battery industry. So such centers should be also a certification center for future engineers, developers, managers, and so on, and also scientists, of course. Slovenian Battery Center, if ever will be a reality, should be built by a small prototype unit for pouch cells. And then, of course, together with equipment for characterization of cells, specs, and models, and other equipment that is necessary to do this. With that, I think I ran out my 10 to 15 minutes which I had, and here I would like to thank you for your for listening to me, and once again I'm sharing with you this bunch of nice people who are really experts on batteries. They are hungry to deliver something better even to industry for the future. So thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your insights, Robert. We have a question, and it's also about the startup corporate cooperation in this field of battery industry. So maybe you can elaborate a bit more on that. How are startups working together with corporates to find innovative solutions in this kind of field?
So this is actually startups that have, I think they have problems, because I'm not running startups, but I'm running a group which wants to bring some materials or technology readiness level to higher level. And since there is not enough equipment available in Europe, we are actually somehow hit into the wall, and we need to wait that some capacities are available, or that some friends give us some capacities. So it's not trivial, and that's why this initiative to have more available facilities, more available equipment, to bring some research to higher tier level, and then bring it closer to industry, because industry at the moment is mainly focused to get on the same level like as Asian industry. So they don't, or maybe not in a large aspect, they don't have time to really to dedicate their research to novel chemistries, novel solutions, which can give them even some advantage in front of Asian competitors.
Thank you very much. We have another question from the Podim community. How far away would you say we are from the mainstream use of alternative battery technology?
Battery technology typically, or each battery system typically requires 10 to 15 years development. Some of this development has started even before this, or this hype on batteries. So, and those development actually is related mainly to sodium batteries, which are nowadays already in some prototypes. For I know a company, small company from France, running a lot of buses around, and sodium-ion batteries are suitable for this application. And then when it comes to other technologies like aluminum batteries, magnesium batteries, zinc air batteries, this is still in early stage, where many solutions are offered on the lab level, but cannot be actually tested or cannot be brought to the higher tier level because of this problem of lacking of suitable equipment where you can test some solutions and you can realize some problems, and then you need to find other solutions and so on. So it's like a round loop, looking for improvements and then realizing or testing these improvements in the real environment.
And then we also have another question. Are you already researching these types of technology at your institute in Slovenia?
our institute, our specialty is actually that we are always looking what is behind the horizon. So we are not or we are rarely working on technologies that are already close to commercialization. We are always looking for something new. So in this way, we are one of the leading on research lab on magnesium batteries, especially magnesium organic batteries. We are now in prototyping section, so bringing these cells to the size of 1 amp hours. Then we have activities on calcium batteries. We have activities on aluminum batteries, where we, with both technologies, we showed that these batteries are possible. Of course, there is a long pathway to come to the at least close to the commercial application. But as I said, yes, the specialty in Ljubljana that we want to look to new materials, and we want to look to sustainable applications.
Thank you very much. What are the biggest challenges for the European battery industry if you compare it to the States or China?
I think if I compare it to the China and or Far East, China, Korea, Japan, problem is with skills. We don't have engineers. We have good scientists, scientists with brilliant ideas, which can bring some ideas to, let's say, to tier level 4, 5, maybe 6. But then those ideas has to be taken by engineers and by skilled production workers, where we are lacking. So this is one of the initiatives in Europe that we need to put much more efforts to building education level to ensure these skills which will be needed in the future with gigafactories coming to our area. So comparing to United States, I think we have a problem with investments. They have much better investments. They have also, although the government maybe doesn't look like, they have also much higher investments into research on that field currently.
And what do we have to do to get bigger venture capital investments, for example, also for startups who are doing research in this kind of field, from your point of view?
Oof, this is a difficult question for a researcher working at National Institute. Of course, every risk capital wants to see some products, and what I have presented just a few minutes ago, equipment that will enable on the battery level to really show if ideas are feasible and if ideas can be transferred close to the commercialization. This is what we need, and maybe this will also bring more risk capital to this area also in Europe. Just maybe just as to illustrate, in China or in Japan, mostly every research lab is equipped with such equipment, so they're really able to provide solutions and ideas to industry in very short time.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, Robert. We don't have any other questions left. Thank you also to the audience for asking these questions and all the insights. I want now give back to the Maribor studio from Vienna, and yeah, so far from Vienna, and we'll see you in the next in the stage of the Vienna stage.